Okay, question 1. Hello guys and welcome to a new video. This is going to be the first Q&A session of the series. In case you're wondering, on this session, what we do is you guys ask me questions on my Instagram stories and I try to answer them to the best of my abilities. Now these questions can be about anything: music, gear, personal life, hobbies. The idea is to make some fun, relaxed videos for you guys, where I can try to answer some technical questions, some guitar related or recording questions, but also you get to know the guy in front of the camera a little bit better. Okay, so as I said before, this is only the first Q&A session of the series. So if your question didn't make it to this series, don't worry about it. The idea is to have monthly sessions, so you'll get the chance to ask another question. Now keep in mind, I gotta keep this video interesting, so make sure you ask interesting questions. Don't ask questions like, what are you doing now, or what did you have for breakfast? Okay, so without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, Brother Hell wants to know, how many years do you have your account? I'm not sure if you mean the YouTube account or the Instagram account, but I've had my Instagram account for about 2 years, and I've actually had a YouTube account for about 8 years, but I only started uploading videos last year. Before that, I only had it for like playlists and stuff like that. Chris L. Ross 5017 wants to know, when did you start playing guitar? And that's a really good question. To be honest, I got my first guitar when I was about 14 years old. It was actually an electric guitar, but I didn't even have an amplifier for it. I didn't know how to tune the guitar, I didn't know how to change strings on it, and of course I didn't know how to play it. And this was way before the internet was what it is today. You couldn't really look up videos or tabs or anything like that then. And we couldn't really afford a guitar teacher, so the guitar just sat there for a couple of years. So I guess we could say that I started playing guitar when I was 17 years old, which is exactly half of the age I have today. Now there's been a lot of breaks in between ever since I started playing. I was actually fed up with guitar. I was working at Sam Ash full time, I was giving out guitar lessons, and it was just a little too much. Now luckily, I only sold a few guitars and some gear before I actually got offered a gig to go tour Mexico in 2011. And that was it. After playing in 13 different cities, I knew this was what I wanted to do the rest of my life. Okay, Just Instagram wants to know, who was your inspiration which made you choose music as a career, and did you ever have regrets? Okay, so as most of you know, the first band that I really got into and I got obsessed about and I still love, and it's still my all-time favorite band, was and will be Queen. They are the sole reason why I even started listening to music, let alone playing guitar. Now truth be told, I wanted to sing like Freddie Mercury, but very early on I caught on to the fact that I was never going to be able to. So I figured I'll do the next best thing and I'll play like Brian May. And that was impossible as well. But yeah, they were definitely and still are my biggest inspiration in the music career. Now, did I have any regrets? Yes, I've had 2 big regrets. Huge regrets. And they're both essentially the same thing: second guessing myself. The first time around was when I got out of high school and I had to choose a career path, and I knew I wanted to be a musician. Even back then, when I was 18 years old, I could really play some intricate solos and stuff like that. But a lot of people told me that it wasn't a viable career, and I agree. So I decided to enroll in computer engineering, and I actually studied that for 2 years. And I was actually doing well in school, but it was really tedious, it was really boring, and there was no passion in it for me. And all of that because of the fact that a lot of people told me, you're not gonna become famous, you're not gonna make any money being a musician and playing metal. And it's definitely true, I agree 100%. But I can tell you, I am really happy with my career choice. And the second regret I have is not giving it all I had. A lot of times you look for advice elsewhere when you know what you have to do deep inside you. So you end up wasting a lot of your time and falling way behind on things that you should have done a long time ago. Like most of the songs that I'm actually recording and releasing now are songs that I wrote 15 years ago, 12 years ago, and they are just coming out. Because of course, nobody likes death metal, nobody's going to listen to death metal. At this point, I should be working on my 5th album. So yeah, don't put things off, you're going to regret it in the end. Having said that, make sure you destroy that like button. Drop me a comment in the comment section down below, and do it now, don't put it off. Make sure you subscribe to this channel like a man if you haven't yet. And of course, if you want to become a part of the team and support the channel, make sure you hit that join button down there and become a member. Don't put it off. I know you want to, and you might as well do it now, right? Okay, next question comes from BEVEN. What things did you have to master, editing, etc. before having your YouTube channel? That's a great question. Nothing. Get creating. Start putting out content. Don't wait around. If you want to check out my older videos, you will see that they were actually shot on my iPhone 4S. And still they got a lot of views. If you're in the YouTube game for the long run, you're going to learn as you go along. and stop comparing your work to other people's work. I mean, I can sit on my computer and watch Stevie T, Ola England, Undertones, and even Fluffy's channel, and their production quality and video quality and audio quality is way better than mine. But that's not going to stop me from creating. I can definitely go in my channel and go back even as close as 8 months ago and see how much I grew as a video editor and as a YouTuber. And there's still a long way to go. So hit record and get creating. Wow, I really didn't think that the answers to those questions were going to be this long. Okay, next question comes from Ty, the guitar dude. Any acoustic guitars you own, are they good and how much time do you spend with them? That's a great question, Ty. Thanks for that. I actually own 3 acoustic guitars. I basically have one of each. I have a classical guitar, I have an acoustic guitar, and I have a 12-string acoustic guitar. Running a studio, you really need to have at least one of each because of all the tonal options they will give you. Are they any good? Yes, they rule. I've actually featured the classical guitar and the acoustic guitar in the Acoustic Metallica intros video. You can see them there, and they all have a great story that's going to be told when they are featured in the Guitar of the Month series. But in case you're wondering, the classical guitar is a Washburn C104 SCE. The acoustic guitar is actually right behind me, and it's a Gibson CSR. And the 12-string acoustic is actually an Ovation Ultra from 1983. And how much time do I spend with them? Not enough. I should definitely be spending a lot more time with them. But that's true for all of my guitars. You may actually find this hard to believe, but I barely even play guitar. I used to do a lot of session work and guitar recording work, and of course playing live, and that used to be my routine. But then with this whole coronavirus crap, I've actually not been able to play live. I haven't had any bands come into the studio ever since, and I barely did any studio work. So I only play before and during the recording of the video. So I usually just play the guitar that's got the newest strings in the tuning that I need to play with. Okay, and the last question for today comes from Krankestein. How and when have you discovered your favorite metal bands? I gotta say, as far as the mainstream metal bands go, like Metallica and Megadeth and stuff like that, I actually discovered them through the radio. Back then, in the 90s, we actually had a lot of really good rock stations, and they would mainly play the classics. You know, Queen, Pink Floyd, U2, The Police. And when the Black Album came out, they would definitely play a lot of Metallica, and they would play Megadeth as well. So yeah, that was that. But now for the heavier and faster bands, some of you might actually remember this. Back in the early 2000s, we actually had a distributor called BMG, and what they did is they sold CDs via catalog. And every year you would get this awesome deal where you would get 12 CDs for the price of one, plus shipping and handling. But you could only get them out of one of the pages from the catalog with the new releases. And usually you could find some releases by AC/DC, Motorhead, Kiss, and so on. But most of the time I couldn't really find 12 CDs from bands I knew and liked. But of course I didn't want to miss out on the deal, so I would just go into the metal genre of the catalog and I would just randomly choose some bands based only on the band name or the album name. They didn't even include the cover pictures. And again, it wasn't like it is today where you can just go on YouTube, sit on the computer and listen to a whole album without buying it. You would have to take your chances. Of course, if you didn't like it, you could actually send it back. But usually it was just easier and cheaper to keep it because of the shipping prices and the fact that you got 12 for the price of one. So yeah, I found a lot of really cool bands like that, like Cannibal Corpse and Creator, Carcass, and a lot more. So yeah, good times. Sadly, they are no longer in business. So yeah, that's it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section down below if you did. Drop me a like and be on the lookout for my Instagram stories so you can ask a question for the next Q&A session. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to this channel like a man if you haven't yet, and please consider becoming a part of the team by hitting that join button there. I will see you guys next time. Pat out, metal on, dudes.